Hey, everybody. Welcome to Game Forum. I'm Kyle Hilliard. Jeff Marchiafava is
Hey.
here. Leo Vader, you're here.
Thank you.
We just watched Square Enix's Avengers presentation on its E3 conference. I don't know what we call that thing. But we got to see gameplay. We know what the game looks like now. We have a better sense of what the game is. It's like a cooperative action, third-person action game where you get to pick which Avenger you want to play as. They're going to be adding Avengers after launch.
For free?
For free and new levels, or whatever. Where they had a term for it, like areas or something like that. But they're probably just gonna be levels. What were your initial impressions, Jeff?
I was a little surprised by it. We said that we would set off a confetti cannon if we thought that it lived up to it.
Yeah.
And by the time it was over, we were both kind of looking at each other.
Like, do we want to watch this thing?
Do we want to? Yeah. I think the interesting things were that it wasn't the likenesses of the actors who played the Avengers in the movies.
The actors who play the Avengers in the game, really.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
They're completely new characters, and I guess I like that.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it, and it caught me off guard here. I like the idea of, a talented team coming up with their own takes on these characters and telling their own completely different story.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing.
It also, for me, because I liked Insomniac Spider-Man games so much, it also gives me sort of excitement and hope that Spider-Man lives in that universe now. Because
Sure.
we don't know what the Avengers look like in that universe. That could be them. There were lines of dialogue in Spider-Man talking about the Avengers being on the West Coast, and they specifically said that this game takes place at where a new Avengers tower is opening on the West Coast. So that is exciting to me that maybe Spider-Man will wrap into that universe, which would be cool.
Yeah, they teased some exclusive PlayStation stuff, but they didn't confirm if they're in the same universe.
Yeah,
but the way the likenesses don't match the actors would fit with established in Spider-Man.
Like Spider-Man could totally swing into that scene and it wouldn't look out of place or weird.
Nicely done, Kyle.
Oh,
Yes.
Nicely done.
Now, at the beginning, Kyle, you said that we saw gameplay, but you are a dirty liar. I don't think we actually saw gameplay. I think it was in engine, but it seemed more like cutscenes.
Sure. We saw, you saw the back of Hulk and you saw the back of Iron Man flying. He looked like he was in Anthem or something like that, which is cool. But yeah, it could have been simulated gameplay. Like this is what gameplay might look like.
And I had a hard time telling what the heck is going on from a gameplay perspective.
Yeah, Captain America looked like he was maybe in an Arkham-esque combat scenario. Maybe, if I'm really reading into it a lot, he might have been it looked like, he was in the middle of a big area and enemies were coming at him and he was attacking them. Iron Man looked like he was on a track going down the bridge. Hulk looked like he was a brawler. But yeah, it's just a lot of assumptions on my part,
And they kind of opened with that, but then they jumped 5 years forward. That seemed kind of like the setup to the story to some degree.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to tell if any of that's supposed to be gameplay or what the gameplay is going to be or who even you're fighting at this point.
Yeah.
So lots of questions. I think that was my biggest takeaway, that I want to see more.
Yeah.
I can't say that I was totally mind blown, ready to go out and buy this thing right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. For building up so long to the first formal reveal, I was surprised how little new information we have right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, there was that weird thing where there was clearly an event occurred and then we jump into the future 5 years later, which is a big thing in the recent Endgame film. And then to show a scene with, who was it? It was Dr. Bruce Banner and Iron Man, Tony Stark, talking about how they failed. That was another big thematic element of Endgame, and it's weird that they're sort of emulating that, but also have their own original story, which they are pretty adamant about.
We should say that in terms of they're creating their own characters, and obviously the voices are different, but they have a top-notch voice cast.
Yeah.
They got Troy Baker.
Nolan North, Laura Bailey, and then two other great actors.
Yes. What more could you ask for?
Super group.
I was not familiar with the other two, but those first three.
So if people were turned off, immediately by the fact that it's not, the Avengers that we've come to know from the movies, I think that's okay. I think Thor's beard still looked a little weird to me.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on the beard.
Got to work on that beard. Yeah, it's not a knock against the game. I think if you watch our reactions on the live stream video, I think I was like, oh, weird, they didn't get the likeness. But it was mostly a surprise. I guess I don't know why I mean, because it's called Avengers, I guess that's why I assumed they would get the likenesses of the
Yeah.
actors. But the moment they weren't there, I was like, oh, well, yeah, that makes total sense. That's not a problem.
That does make sense. And I do really like the idea of adding to the cast as the time goes on and doing new areas and just having new content to kind of
free.
tell a larger story, which is what we have also come to expect from the Avengers. So they're going to be with us until we die.
So do you think you can basically, like, if you check in on this game like a year after release and assuming the roster has like blown up a lot, are you just going to be able to play through the full game with whichever hero you sort of gravitate towards?
I don't know. And, a lot of that, what they showed was mostly story focused. So I wouldn't assume that you could just jump into that with any character.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just kind of, different scenarios. They're creating different scenarios for different characters or something.
Yeah.
But
And the co-op angle isn't surprising. I'm very curious how that will work in terms of like balancing. Like how do you have Hulk and Iron Man, a character who can fly, and I don't know. I'm
or
curious
is
how
it
it's gonna
almost
work.
raid focused, that you have
maybe,
these different characters with different abilities, and
Taking
are
on
they
waves.
gearing the challenge towards that, or
Also, are the Avengers just together the whole time, so you can always play with your friends?
Yeah, maybe the core, like the 4 core guys, or was it 5? It was 4, right?
There's 5.
5. The 5 core, like they will be there throughout the entire course of the game, but then all the other characters will just be like optional in certain sections. I have no idea.
lots of
We got
questions,
a lot of questions.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting first look. Not what people were expecting, I think, but
I don't know. I just expected straight gameplay, so it was a little bit different than what we got.
There is a gameplay demo at E3, apparently, they said. So if somebody's playing it. Somebody will have impressions.
we'll have impressions one way or the other. We'll beat it out of them if we have to.
Really, that's how you want to end this video?
No.
All right. Well, thanks so much for watching, and we'll have all kinds of continuing E3 coverage. So keep an eye on GameInformer.com or our YouTube channel, whatever you prefer. It's fine with me either way.
Thanks, Kyle.
You're welcome, Leo.
Can we go to bed now?
Yeah, I'm tired.